Man like Mark Sullivan, worry yourself. Stay tuned for the thrilling episode. Woo!
A positive mental attitude can clear away all obstacles which stand between you and your major purpose in life.
This is the Snowboard Project featuring Mark Sullivan and the Bead. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.
Welcome back to the Snowboard Project. I'm Mark Sullivan.
And I am the Beeve. Coming at you from the Snowboard Project studios. A little hostel in Ketchum, Idaho.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
We are.
We're currently sitting in a hostel room doing a podcast.
Yes. There's someone sleeping in this hostel.
Yeah, there might be. Shut up, Bob. Bob, serious? You hear him laughing back there?
Yeah, there's actually someone sleeping.
There's actually someone sleeping.
Okay, anyhow.
That's how core this is, right? Like,
I guess.
doing a fucking podcast in a hostel room while a dude's sleeping. We're like, you got to keep it down. It's New Year's. We're sold out. We're sold out in this place.
Right. So every bed, every room, everything is sold out.
Yeah, we're partying. We partied last night and we're partying tonight.
You know what they call this season in ski towns?
What do they call it?
They call it the harvest.
Oh,
because this is when you harvest your crops.
Right,
so to speak.
It is. So you like, even if you're like, you have your studio, you got to sell that bed in that studio.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, this is New Year's Eve, episode 56. 56 episodes since September.
Right. You know what I'm really just crossing my fingers about today, Mark?
What?
That on episode 56 in this hostel, in this exact chair, you don't break another one.
I may break another chair today. This one is really creaky, I gotta say.
Mark, I think it was like Real Talk episode 2. Mark Sullivan broke a chair on the air. Yeah. It was hilarious.
So what do you want to do today? There isn't a lot going on in snowboarding. I mean, this week everyone was at home for the holidays.
Right.
A lot of people went up to Baldface. Actually, they're getting some pow up there right now.
Where was our invite?
Must have got stopped at customs.
Yeah, seriously. It must have got lost in the mail. Thanks for the invite, though, Jeff. Yeah, we just missed it. Yeah, we didn't get up there.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Yeah, I did see some stuff. Who was up there? Was DCP? DCP was at Baldface.
I think DCP was there. Yeah. I saw Todd Richards on. I think Stan is going there.
What?
Stan. Yeah.
Dude, you finally made it as a snowboard personality when you get invited to Baldface, right?
Real talk.
Yeah. Good for Stan.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about just awesome people in media. Yeah. Stan.
Yeah.
We got to let's do a Stan interview.
Yeah, he's got another episode coming out tomorrow, January 1st.
He does?
Yes.
Is it a Sculf episode?
No, it is a movie review wrap-up. He is dropping that episode January 1st.
I have to say, actually, that was a dumb question if it was Sculf, because I saw the Trollhagen Sculf.
Yeah.
Pretty rad.
Yeah.
Pretty rad. So if you haven't seen that, go check out Stan's Sculf episode.
We also had Golden Hour come out this week. That came out on Wednesday. And that was pretty cool, actually. Yeah. That was like the Gimbal God edit filmed somewhere in Scandinavia.
Right. Except, though, there was one thing I was confused about. It missed an hour by like 56 minutes.
What, you mean it was 50?
It was 4 minutes long.
Oh, right. Yes, it was actually a golden 4 minutes.
Yeah, like I have had a golden 4 minutes. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I got the popcorn out. I was ready to watch an hour, and I got 3 bites in, and it was done. But sick.
Right.
I mean, they pretty much pack everything you want to see in there
in 3 bites.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was pretty cool, I gotta say. So that's worth watching. That's out online right now.
You know what I really liked about that is there were a lot of like just really stylish, cool, even like 180s and stuff like that. On a massive jump, massive kicker.
Totally.
And it is impressive how close Spenny can get with that, with his
follow cam, ride along, whatever you call it.
Yeah,
it is pretty cool for sure.
But I do think back to the days when we were like, taking like Panasonic, whatever massive cameras over jumps 8 feet from the rider, sticking your arm out as close as you could get.
Right.
You know, something to be said about
today,
that.
Maybe,
yeah.
Technologically speaking.
Right. But still very impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay, so what do you want to talk about today? I mean, that's really all this news we have in Snowboarding Report.
Right.
I don't know how our blizzard really worked out that we were seeing in the weather. We didn't get it. I know that.
Hey, you know what? Sun Valley saw some POW yesterday, bro.
How much?
At the end, I still had to snow blow at 2.5 inches.
2.5 inches?
Yeah.
Okay. How many millimeters is that? Isn't it like 15 millimeters?
I have no idea.
I think you got like 15 millimeters of powder.
What do you take me for, a Canadian?
I don't know. Okay, so
all right. So let's just, you know what? Hey, we're making it to 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we made it, I guess, like since we really started this, probably 6 or 7 months, you know? Right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the first interviews I started doing in June.
Right.
And now it's December, so 7 months. Yeah.
So, first off, we should probably like thank everybody that's been listening, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We have to thank our listeners for people who've tuned in and listened to different episodes we've done over the last 4 months of releasing episodes anyway.
It's been amazing just watching the growth in the podcast as well.
Yeah.
You know, when you start something like this and no one really knows who you are, you go like, all right, we got a few thousand coming through, you know? And to watch those numbers pretty much double every month, you know? There was somebody messaging me today, you know, I was like, what's going on with the numbers on that? And I was like, well, actually, you know, been pretty cool. It's like grown like 200% every month, you know?
Yeah.
And I find that like a huge win, you know?
Totally.
So first off, we got to say thank you to all you guys listening. And two, if you've been sharing it, if you've been pushing it across your avenues, like that helps us. We see that and it like helps us grow, right?
Yeah, definitely. And so like, thank you to everyone who's rated us, who's reviewed us, told your friends about us.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that support, and that's what helps us grow. And I mean, every month we are doubling in size, more than doubling in size. Right. So yeah, it's great.
Right. And then we got to say thanks to all the Patreon subscribers as well.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because they're the real, you know.
Right. The backbone, if you will.
Yeah.
They're providing the financial support for us to be able to do this.
Right. Right.
So definitely without them donating money to the Snowboard Project, this wouldn't be happening.
Totally. So thank you guys. Yeah. Anyway, so let's just ask some questions. Let's just say, should we go through? You said you had top 10 as far as like our interviews.
Okay,
our top
so
10
let's talk
so
about
far.
some different episodes here. We can review some of our 56 episodes, some of our top episodes. So let's go over our top 10 as far as who's listened.
But we should probably say like our interviews, you know, they can be listened to at any time. So a lot of these numbers might just be because they have been on there 4 months now, you know.
Right, exactly. So, but really they're timeless. The idea of the interviews is that the advice these people give, the subjects that we cover, basically aren't, you know, they're timeless. You can listen to them anytime.
Yep. So is your cough. Your cough is timeless.
My cough, yeah. Unfortunately.
So yeah, hit me with the top 10, Sully.
Okay, so let's go in reverse order.
Okay.
So this is
Are we going to talk about each one of these?
Yeah, let's talk briefly about each one. So in 10th place we have Dave Cioni.
Right. Our second episode.
Yeah,
out
Dave
there.
Cioni, and he's the guy who made Roadkill, Subject Hawkinson. Made a bunch of different movies, was featured in Fall Line movies early on, was a pro rider.
Right.
Thought it was a really interesting interview just based on how influential of a filmmaker he was in the early days of snowboarding.
Right. I think my favorite thing about that episode was when he was like talking about his experience with Rankwit.
Yeah.
And there was some real shit talking going on in that one.
Right.
Like some real talk. Yeah, some real talk.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, if you haven't listened to that one, there's a lot of good history in that. As a filmmaker, as someone that has made films, I can relate, and I really enjoyed that one. So,
right.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool one.
All right, give me number 9. What was number 9?
Number 9 was Kurt Heine.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm not sure if it was a good interview or people just like the drawing of Kurt. But either way, that was our 9th most popular episode this fall.
Right. So 2 filmmakers in the 10th and 9th positions, which is amazing.
Right.
Kurt Heine was released somewhere in the first week of December. And so his has been around, for that long. I think the coolest thing about Heine's was, like you said, the drawing that we made ended up going viral across Dig My Quiver, across some other places. People really appreciated that. I think we need to dig up more people's like old high school, like mullet photos.
Right.
They ended up doing like Heine memes for like 3-4, maybe even a week straight, like on Dig My Quiver. And if you haven't seen it, you could probably go dig it up and
definitely
and laugh your ass off. And it's still the logo of Dig My Quiver too.
I know, it's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. Funny.
Yeah.
All right. Hit me with number 8.
8 is DCP, David Carrier Porcheron, French Canadian.
Right. Do you think the Canadian listens really like push that one through?
I'm not sure, but we do have a bunch of Canadians here actually in our top 10. We got 4 Canadian episodes in our top 10.
Wow. So Canada's listening.
Like pretty much every one of our Canadian episodes is in our top 10.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So DCP, obviously, he's at about 40 video parts.
Right.
One of the founders of the Yes Snowboards.
Right.
Pretty interesting episode, actually.
Was just shredding with his kids at Bald Face without us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
I try not to hang my salty tears on those kind of memories.
It was kind of cool. It was like he was putting out all this stuff on Instagram, and it was like him and his kids shredding like over there, just having a good time.
Yeah, it looks like he was having fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
right. Totally.
So next up we have Jeff Pensiero.
Oh, speaking of Baldface.
Speaking of Baldface, the owner of Baldface clocked in at number 7.
Number 7.
And he tells kind of the origin story of Baldface.
Sure.
That was like interview episode number, that was like episode 5, I want to say.
It was pretty early on we did it.
Number 6.
Number 6,
Number 6, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, what were kind of your takeaways from his interview? What did you feel about that one?
Just like how determination plays a role in you achieving your goals, and how really like no one really gave him anything for Baldface, and there was a bunch of obstacles to overcome, and he was able to overcome those obstacles and see it through to where it is today.
Right. And it's kind of made this, I guess, little oasis or mecca up there at Baldface, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So next up in number 6, we have Andrew Hardingham. That's pretty much the best way to summarize that interview.
I listened to Hardingham a few times.
Yeah,
because it was just so funny. That guy is a comedian. What was your favorite thing about that interview?
Oh, I just laughed. I remember just laughing the whole time. I mean, there were so many funny moments in that interview. It's hard to kind of put your finger on just one. He's such a great guy.
It was a while ago. So he has like a meat company and a whiskey company, right? Was that
no? He's got a whiskey festival.
Okay,
I think it's called the Banff Whiskey Experience. And so it's a whiskey festival in Banff, Alberta that he's now hosting.
Talk about someone really following their dreams, you know?
Right. So, yeah, that was Hardingham, but that's definitely worth a listen.
Right.
If you want a good laugh.
Okay. All right.
So,
one of my favorites to date, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So number 5 was Ross Rebagliati.
Yes.
What did you think of that one?
I liked Ross Rebagliati because I've always wondered about the story of him, and his medal being, taken away and given back, and the drama of, I didn't know that he got arrested in Japan for, if you had THC in your blood at the time, you were considered like drug trafficking.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy. So the dude went from like the podium, and I love the logo of the one that we did for his, where he's like holding the medal because 24 hours later he was sitting in a Japanese prison for a week, like really wondering if he made the right decisions
based on importing controlled substances.
Right,
17 milligrams per million in his blood.
Right. And just hearing that story, and I think hearing him just kind of how he picked himself up by his bootstraps and kind of just said like, fuck it, we're gonna, I'm gonna keep going, and this isn't gonna define me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting interview. Surprisingly good interview.
Surprisingly good interview, yeah.
Okay, sure. So in 4th place, we have Torgeir Bergrim. Torgeir, yes. That was a pretty interesting interview, I thought, anyway. Torgeir, known for that internet clip scene around the world, the Switchback 5 to Method.
Right.
and just known really for his park riding skills. He's an Olympian from Norway, and unfortunately out with an injury right now, but still a pretty interesting interview nonetheless.
Yeah, I think he just seems like one of these guys that has his head on straight just about things. Even listening to that interview just about progression of competition or like tricks or whatever, it was pretty cool hearing his perspective as a pro rider. That's kind of and his crew is pushing freestyle.
Yeah, he rides with like Stolly Sedbeck and Marcus Cleveland. I mean, that's like his crew of riders,
and those dudes are just owning.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting interview, and talks about kind of the future direction of the sport and freestyle progression. So I think that's a valuable listen as well.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, so number 3.
Yeah. Okay, we're in our top 3. So what's our
podium.
bronze? What's our bronze medal?
Bronze medal is going to be bronze medalist Scotty Lago.
Oh. Was that just like coincidence?
That was coincidence.
Okay.
Yes.
Scotty Lago.
Yes.
Yeah, you've held his bronze medal, haven't you?
I've worn his bronze medal.
It,
yes, I have.
You were in that image that was seen all the way across the world.
Yes, I was in that image too.
Scotty Lago, when what was it, Vancouver, and won his medal,
TMZ or whatever.
Was it who else was in that shot with you? Was
Greg Bretz.
Yeah,
Bretz and I are in the shot that was in TMZ,
and subsequently made it on.
That's not what made it a good interview, Beef.
I know, but like, it's still amazing to me that you're sitting there taking a picture of this chick with the medal in her mouth, and you're just laughing. So
I was laughing.
Yeah, Scotty is just. He must have been hammered, yeah?
I don't even know if he was yet.
He looked
but
like
we certainly were later.
All right. So what did you think made that really a good interview about Lego?
Just some things that, like, I've known Scotty since he was a little kid, but some of the things that I found out about him as an athlete that I didn't know. Okay. Just like that he's never taken painkillers. So when he broke his jaw.
No way.
Filming for, what was it?
I think was it The Art of Flight, or was it That's It, That's All?
I think it's
Yeah, I think it was That's It, That's All.
That's All. But anyhow, broke his jaw in the backcountry in Wyoming, had to sled out like with a broken jaw 20 miles out of the backcountry, and then never took any painkillers at all, like any Vicodin or Oxy or whatever, any of that crap. And so that to me was like surprising. And actually, it was like, wow, that actually makes me respect you, especially knowing that you're from New Hampshire and that what kind of epidemic that like these prescribed painkillers are in New Hampshire. I mean, really, it's a bad thing there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool interview, I thought.
Right. I can't remember. Did you ever ask him about that like little internet video where he had like all the guns hidden in his house?
I did not ask him about that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, that was like, I don't know.
That would have been a question for.
It would have been interesting if people would have to look that up and watch that video.
I don't think you can. I think he had to. I think he took it down. I think he knew what was best for him. But I saw it, like, it was amazing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We can move on. If you saw that video, he basically was giving people a tour of his house, like, and there was hidden like guns all the way across his house, like behind the couch.
It was like a joke, though.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah,
he definitely fired one into his swimming pool, though. Kicked open the door and fired it, and it's like, okay, a little loose. Love you, Scotty Lago. Yeah. All right, give me number 2.
Okay, number 2 is going to be episode number 1 about the Snowboard Project. So that was just like the first episode, kind of set the stage for the 55 now subsequent episodes.
You said that was about the Snowboard Project. It was probably more about you, Mark.
You're trying to be a little less vain. But it was really it was me talking about the Snowboard Project and my experience that led to the Snowboard Project.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think
all about me, Beav. Yes. Okay. You're right. Okay. Fine.
No, I'm just kidding. If you haven't listened to that one, it's really the why and a little bit of the history behind kind of the idea, which I thought was a really good interview.
Oh, thank you. You did a good job.
Not my part. Because of me. My part.
Your part was good. Okay.
Yeah, I did listen to some of it last like a few days ago, and I was like, wow. I remember being really nervous interviewing you.
You were nervous. I remember you like kind of had a couple stumbles where you stopped for a second and you had to like think of a question. You're like, I didn't have another question ready to go.
Right. No, I don't know if it was that. I was just talking really fast and I was tripping over my words, you know?
Yeah. So if you want to hear Beef mess up, go back to episode number 1.
You can hear it. I remember going back through it being like, man, you have done 1,000 interviews and this is maybe the worst you've ever spoken ever. And this guy's like a friend of yours.
Right.
You know?
Well, then you set a nice, like, the only way to go is up, Beef.
I know.
So.
And I think actually, I want to say, and, you know, not to float your boat or anything, but I think you've gotten better at interviewing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But you know what's even better is like when you and I interview together, right? We can kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
People can hear what a good interviewer sounds like and a bad interviewer side by side.
Oh, so there's a compare and contrast in this situation. Right. I'm just here to make you sound better.
Right. Yeah. That's so nice of you, Beef. That's so thoughtful.
I will say the hardest part is like I can see you're going somewhere. So it's like, okay, back up. Like, don't stomp on where Mark Sullivan's going to end this.
Ooh, where am I going with this?
Yeah. So, but it's been a lot of fun in the ones that we've done together.
It has been.
Yeah. Okay. Who's number 1?
Okay. Number 1, our most popular interview to date was a guy from the industry.
Okay.
Dave Schreiber.
David Schreiber.
Yeah.
Okay.
A guy who was, he was the vice president of marketing for Burton and then went on to be the vice president of global brand marketing for a little brand called Nike. Yeah.
Nothing to shake a stick at there.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. He had some valuable insights into the kind of the thought process behind some of those, marketing decisions that Burton executed on early on in the day, and then also just like the kind of the corporate culture at Nike and some of the thinking at Nike. So I thought that was a really cool interview.
I thought that was a great interview, and actually I've gone back and referenced it and listened to it a couple times through, just because it just is there's such good clarity on like trying to like understand how you market something, you know. And I am obviously in the film side of things, so we are marketers ultimately, but you know, and also reference to how we, you know, can get our stuff out there, you know. So it's been kind of fun. Re-listening to that and then thinking about some new ideas. So
I would say that's probably the episode I've re-listened to the most.
Really?
Yeah, I probably listened to it 4 or 5 times, actually.
So is the reason why he's in first place because you and I keep like pressing play and falling asleep to it or something?
Maybe so. Maybe. I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think it's actually just a really good, insightful interview.
I think it's a good interview.
So, yeah.
For sure. If you haven't listened to Dave Schreiber, it was like mid-November. One of those episodes. Mark's going to dig up the episode number, but Schreiber is a good
number
one.
37. That was released on 11/16.
Okay.
Middle of November.
Right.
Yeah.
So Schreiber was just right in that prime of kind of, November, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess looking at that, any revelations you can see like within those things, would you say, hey, because I thought, like our big pros, and most certainly they're up there, but, we have Dave Schreiber wouldn't be a name that we'd know, I guess, offhand. What's your kind of thought on that, kind of looking at that?
I think the most valuable thing really for me was like hearing different perspectives from people from all different, walks of the industry. Guys like Aaron Draplin, who's like a graphic designer, a super accomplished graphic designer.
Right.
Andy Wright, who is arguably one of the most accomplished photographers.
Yeah.
In the world, trans world, senior photographer for like 17 years,
Right.
A guy like Jesse Grankowski, who started a brand called Air Blaster that I really respect and admire. And then you have guys like, like Nate Holland, who's won like the X Games 7 times, or Chase Josie, who's just kind of coming into his own as an athlete, or guys like Mike Gagliardi, who like is a national sales manager and talks about like how to be responsible as a salesperson, or Jeff Galbraith, who runs a media empire called Funny Feelings LLC. So all sorts of just kind of interesting different perspectives on the sport of snowboarding and different approaches to people kind of like just being able to look at the sport and interpret it through their own eyes.
Right. What do you think is the biggest thing, your biggest takeaway? Like, we've now been doing this 6 or 7 months. What do you think you've kind of learned the most in those 7 months? Just curious.
Oh boy.
I may have asked you this a few weeks ago, but I want to know actually right now.
Yeah, I would say the thing that I've learned the most about is really just how diverse snowboarding is as a sport, and how that like I said, I think probably before is like I thought I understood a lot about snowboarding, having dedicated 30 plus years of my life to kind of following it and pursuing it and working in the media.
Right.
And really what I realized is that actually I have a pretty limited perspective, only one person's perspective on the sport of snowboarding, and really kind of doing these deep dives with people from different aspects of the sport has allowed me to really see the sport through new eyes.
Right.
So that's kind of the big thing for me.
That's kind of crazy hearing that from you, because I feel like you had a pretty, in touch, I guess, perspective of the sport coming into this, because you've just seen it from, relatively early years, its infancy, all the way till now, and watched it change in so many different ways, to say that you've learned something even in the last 6 or 7 months,
Yeah.
So
I think I definitely have. It's definitely expanded my horizons with regard to snowboarding. So it's pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. How about for you, Beav? What's been your biggest takeaways? Any episodes I haven't mentioned yet that you found like really interesting or funny or informative or,
I mean, I have enjoyed listening to all of them. And I think, just what it, the whole picture is really has been cool to kind of watch. I would say, in other aspects, most people would just focus on the current pro. And I think hearing things, and seeing the chatter across the internet just about like, hey, Jesse Grankowski, I never knew that the logo was a spaceship,
Right.
Like, wow. Like, I see these things, and I think it's actually, there are little parts and pieces, like people were stoked on hearing about the James brand. I went like, it's a knife brand. And Ryan Coulter, of course, designed the bindings that I probably rode most of my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I just, it's been rad kind of knowing that those are appreciated, know? And what I've probably taken away is just, there is so much in the sport of snowboarding, from, the industrial designer all the way to the company, to the, current pro, to these things. And it all is, a lot of the focus is on what's happening in the now and who's the big pro, but there's so much that happens on the back end to make these things work,
Yeah.
So I don't know, that was really poorly explained, but it's cool.
It'll have to do.
God,
Right.
I still got so much work to do, Mark, in this whole.
Well, that's the beauty of it. We can always improve. That's the kind of the goal, is to constantly improve.
Right.
And so I think that's what you can expect from us.
Right.
For the next season is basically we're going to try to constantly improve the Snowboard Project and try to have good audio quality throughout. We're going to try to eventually introduce video, so we'll film these things. We'll try to introduce some new ideas as well. And I think that we have introduced like Flight Week. I thought that was really positive. In fact, we're expecting those any day. Today, tomorrow, they will be arriving and ready for shipment.
Oh, those boards are coming in.
Yeah, there's a piece of real talk news for you.
Yeah.
Flight boards are coming.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool week. It's kind of like, what is Mark doing? He's building He's building a board on the podcast.
Yeah, so a podcast board.
Yeah,
most popular podcast board ever.
Yeah, that's
pod board.
A pod board.
That's right. Okay, so maybe we should just wrap this one up. I think that we've talked.
Should we just go through the trivia from last week?
Sure. Yeah. Let's just go. Let's not even do new trivia this week.
Oh yeah,
we didn't think of any new trivia yet.
We just thought we'd do a yearly recap, just kind of on where we were at, and kind of a debrief. Again, thank you guys for being part of that.
Yeah, 56 episodes so far.
56 episodes. This next week we have.
Okay, we have, I believe...
It's a big one.
Is it?
Yeah. Mike Chantry.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one. Mike Chantry.
Again, a name that I wouldn't say like I know all that well, other than you talking about him. So explain who Mike Chantry is.
Mike Chantry is the guy who introduced Tom Sims to Tahoe.
Right.
And so he had a skate ramp called the Mile High Ramp back in the day.
Yep.
And so basically all the skateboarders would converge at his house to hang out. And so he introduced guys like Palmer to snowboarding, Kidwell, Alan Armbruster, Bob Klein. I mean, he was kind of the godfather of the Tahoe scene.
Right.
So
those guys would have all just been skateboarders down, California somewhere, had he not actually brought them up to Tahoe.
Right.
And basically created one of the most revolutionary times in snowboarding, right?
Yeah.
With some of the most influential names to date, easily.
Easily.
So Mike Chantry, check that out. Friday we have
Stevie Bell.
Stevie Bell.
I believe so, yeah.
Yep.
So Stevie Bell, he's not really a pro rider anymore, but he was fairly recent up until Forum kind of pulled stakes and folded up. He was a pro for them.
Yep.
Kind of second generation Forum 8 or whatever you would call them. But anyhow, I thought that was a pretty interesting interview.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's a cool one as well.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened this last week, we had Coulter Week. We had Ryan Coulter, industrial designer, and Chris Coulter.
Yeah.
And Chris, obviously, backcountry master, guide, and
yeah. So that was
great, all around, just great guy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
You just know it. Like you sit down with Coulter.
Yeah, and had a very diverse career in the sport of snowboarding, being like this guy who filmed in absinthe movies and was, known for hitting huge jumps.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing, to basically leading the charge as a guide and backcountry professional.
All right.
So pretty cool to make that transition from professional athlete to professional guide.
Yeah.
And just mountain professional.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, thank you guys for all the support and listening to all these episodes and listening to us rap about what we've had going on. If you haven't listened, go back. All these things can be listened to at any time. You don't have to listen 1 to 56.
Right.
You can listen to them as you would like to learn about the sport.
And that's why we paint so many different pictures of the sport of snowboarding. So you can go back and listen to, any kind of aspect that interests you. If you're into design, sales, into athletes, into being, involved with the industry in any aspect.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So be sure to do that. And if you follow us, feel free to hit us up. Feel free to, text us and say like, hey, I like this. I didn't like this. This is what I want to hear more of. We are pretty responsive across those avenues for sure of Instagram and Facebook.
And please subscribe, like, review, rate this podcast.
And if you feel like you would like to really help us out, you can go to Patreon and chuck us a couple bucks.
Yep, patreon.com/the Snowboard Project.
Hey, we didn't even have to do a commercial. That was it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's do our trivia.
Yeah, let's do our trivia. And you guys can all get out there and do whatever you do on New Year's Eve. Watch a football game or go snowboarding.
Work on next year's first hangover.
Right. All right. So our trivia from last week was fairly subjective, but pretty objective too.
Okay. So what was the first question?
Okay. So the trivia first question was the largest recorded snowfall at a resort. Ooh.
Okay. So I believe that's going to be Mount Baker.
Yeah.
2001 season.
Okay.
I believe it was 1,211 inches.
Just so all you know, the only time that we've seen Bob the Hosteler roll over, was because he knew that question.
Was that right, Bob?
Yeah, was that right, Bob? Yeah, Mount Baker.
We got it right.
Yep, Bob says we got it right.
Okay, there you go.
There's really a dude. There's really a dude sleeping in the studio right now.
All right, let's keep going. The next question.
Sorry.
Some kind of hostile owner you turned out to be. Huh? Hey, we're going to come in and use your room here. Record our show. Don't worry about it, huh? Shut up. Hey, shut up. I'm talking to you.
I can't even keep going right now because it's like that asinine. Like,
yes, it is. Go read the question. Give me that sheet of paper.
Take it.
Okay. The gnarliest blizzard of recorded history.
Why are you doing a stupid voice right now?
Okay, what's the gnarliest blizzard of recorded history?
Should we go to Bob?
Bob, do you have an answer?
Ooh, he says Buffalo, New York, 76.
That's a good guess, but you're wrong.
Yeah, roll back over, Bob, and keep watching A Bug's Life.
Okay, so the real answer is Iran 72. Everyone, the famous Iran 72 blizzard.
Oh, really?
And everyone knows that because it buried 400 villages.
Dude.
And thousands of people died. Lost, literally, they lost the villages.
Could you imagine being in Iran 1976 when that happens? And you're just 1972 when that happens? I mean, isn't Iran in the middle of the freaking desert?
See, that's what you might think, but it's actually in the middle of the mountains.
No way.
Yes, and that they actually have incredible mountains for skiing and snowboarding there.
Are there some resorts in Iran?
Yeah, there are. Absolutely.
No,
and so the funny thing is that if you're from anywhere in the world, you can go to Iran to go snowboarding. No big whoop. But if you're an American, if you're an American, they have to they assign a handler to you when you arrive in Iran.
No way.
And you actually get followed around every step you take. They follow you.
Wow.
Yeah, and you get a big black stamp in your passport, and then from then on, anytime you leave America and come back, you get the courtesy body cavity search on your way back into the country.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's pretty much just so there you go. But Iran would be an epic place to visit. I'd love to go snowboarding in Iran.
Right.
Yeah.
We should all be Canadian then. Right?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Iran 1972 was the gnarliest blizzard.
Yes.
Okay.
And 24 feet of snow in one storm, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was also called the Blizzard of Biblical Proportions.
Oh,
probably because it's in
Iran, in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, what's the next question?
What was the storm of the century?
Oh, storm of the century is not to be confused with the blizzard of biblical proportions.
It was a blizzard that crippled and
It was
created...
only the storm of the century, but biblical proportions, those are that's a pretty large scale. So anyhow.
Crippled and created a national disaster.
Right, so that would be the 1993 blizzard on the eastern seaboard of the United States.
Okay.
And so that's the one that dumped a foot of snow in Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
And so basically just because those places are ill-equipped to deal with, snow removal, I would say that when they get just even a dusting of snow, it can be crippling.
Right.
If you don't have the ability to deal with it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay.
There's your storm of the century.
All right. We have one more. Name the blizzard...
Are we almost out of blizzards?
No, it was like I don't know what the question was.
Name the blizzard.
The most severe blizzard.
Oh, so
I don't know what. I think we totally messed this one up on asking the question. Like I was like, it should have been like, what year was the most severe blizzard? So it's all just coming down like to gnarliest, severe, recorded. Biblical proportions. It's all just semantics at the end of the day. I don't even know what the answer of the question is other than it was in the year of 1881 and it was the most severe.
Oh yeah, the blizzard of 1881. That would be the most severe.
Old 81.
The old blizzard of 81, the most severe blizzard in recorded history.
Yeah. All right. Just a question for you, Mark. What year was Donner Summit?
Ooh,
Everybody
I'm gonna go
knows
with 1846.
Damn it! I tried to pick up the paper quick enough. He was going to be like 1912. He was going to be like, you dumbass. Everybody knows it's 1846.
Apparently me as well.
Yeah.
Too
bad they had to eat each other on that journey.
That's true. Yeah. That was unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate.
However, we still talk about it to this day based on that fact.
Every time when you go over Donner's Pass, do you think about that? You're like, what if the car just flipped into the ditch right here?
Taste.
And then it becomes Iran 72 and I have to eat someone like...
I don't think that.
You don't think about that?
No, do you?
Every single time. Yeah, every time I go over. Yeah. I bet Bob's thinking about that right now. Yep, he says. Okay. Yep, he is.
Well, let's wrap it up.
No. Let's just do this. Can we figure out? Do we have something to just give away to someone random on our Patreon right now? Let's just go random across the Patreon. Is that possible?
Random?
Yeah.
On Patreon?
Can you pull up our Patreon subscribers?
Let me see if I can.
Mark's going to find you a really great gift. This is going to be the gift of a year. A year, We can do that, right, Mark? We can find like an awesome thing in your closet that came from some historical place. Yeah? I see you.
Yeah.
Yep. See,
I'm looking for a name.
He's looking for a name. He's just going to pick a random name across the Patreon. This is one of like 136 subscribers at the moment. And we're going to just keep doing this. We're going to keep giving away kind of cool bits and pieces. Jimmy Seacrest. Brother of Ryan Seacrest?
No. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. Was that just like, did you just like scroll down and that was the guy?
Down
and you stopped right on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy Seacrest. The comment. I saw his comment, stopped on that, and was like, okay, there's our winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jimmy Seacrest. So Jimmy Seacrest has donated to our Patreon. We're going to keep giving away stuff to our Patreon subscribers. We're just going to keep doing it. And screw Patreon for saying, like, you can't actually do giveaways to get people.
You can't give giveaways.
You can't give giveaways. No, we're just going to keep doing it because you know what? Is Patreon listening?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what we just decided. So anyways, thank you guys all for making this the most awesome year. I guess our first year of the Snowboard Project. Any last words, Sully?
Well, ride fast, take chances.
All right.
Don't be scared.
And
for God's sake.
Wow. Really throwing the cliches out there, Sully.
Ride fast, take chances.
I like it.
That's
all right.
The original cliche.
Hey, get out there and go snowboarding. And if you are doing something fun tonight, be safe. Don't drink and drive, right?
Yeah. Happy New Year's.
And if you're anywhere near the Hot Water Inn, someone's calling for some tickets. Come on in. Yeah, we got three bands tonight. It's going to be a great time.
Oh.
What am I doing? Why did I just...
Why are you plugging this?
I was just trying to say, like, come and party with us, you know, because you're going to be there. You're going to come drink beers.
Yeah, I'll probably will. Yeah.
Anyways, have a happy new year. We'll catch you in 2019. Thanks again for listening.
Peace.
On behalf of Mark Sullivan and the Beav, thanks for listening to the Snowboard Project. Remember, ride fast, take chances, dream big, and take action. And for God's sake, don't forget to support advertising-free snowboarding media at patreon.com. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.